Okay, so in the last session we just discussed about what are the basic setups which need to be completed for HRMS, inventory and purchasing applications. These points we discussed. Okay, okay, that's all. So now we'll start with these setups. Okay, we'll start with these setups. User is called free. So switch to, go to HRMS application, say responsibility. What is the first task? We have to create the job. So when we are setting up business group info, there we have 6 flex field structures, right? So out of those, one is job flex field structure also, right? So if you want to see the job flex field structure, so from HRMS you cannot navigate to key flex field structure. Go to inventory or any other application to see the structure before you go and create the job in the system. To create the job, to create the code combination, how many segments we created? I think around 6 or 7 we created. In the same way, to create job also, how many fields, how many segments required, that has to be defined in the system. So here already we use some existing structure for job, right? Within that, how many segments we have to create the job, we will go and see that. Go to inventory or any other applications. Okay, same navigation whatever you see in the GL. To create the accounting key flex field structure, what are the navigation? Same setup, financials, financials. Sorry, here we have directly flex fields, key segments. So the job is belongs to which application? HRMS. Click on find. Just to give you some understanding, that's it. We are not going to do anything with this. Without discussing this also, we can go and create the job. But before we go and create the job, let's try to understand how many segments are defined and what we can see over there. This and all we can understand. So H, job flex field, human resources, job flex field. So which job flex field structure we selected in business group info? See, my question is, when we are creating the business group, we provided business group info. Within that, for job flex field structure, we selected one name, right? The job flex field structure name. What is the name? Sorry? See, what is the secret in that? Job flex field, that's it. Job flex field we selected. The same you find here. Here, this is the one, right? This structure we selected over there. If you open this structure, see, click on segments. How many segments we have within this? Job code and job name. In chart of accounts, we have 6 segments. When you are creating any transaction, for 6 segments, we have to enter the code combination, right? We have to select the respective value. The same way, if you are going to create the job, you have to provide the job name and job code. So when you are creating the job, for job point of view, which information we have to capture, that already they finalized. Okay, but when we are working in real time, this will be created by HR consultant. But since this is a Vision instance, we are using some sample one which is given by Oracle. Okay, we don't need to focus on this because we are not going to implement, okay, HR related application. Just we are learning finance. For your understanding, I am just taking these points. Okay, 2 segments we have. Okay, 2 segments we have. Now we'll go and create the job so that you can understand. When you are creating job, what information we have to provide? Within the job key flexible structure, we have two segments. When you are creating job, those two segments that information only have to provide. The names are code and name. That's all. Now take the task as create job. Job we can create from HRMS application. Okay. Job we can create from HRMS application. Take the navigation, work structures, job description. Okay. Work structures, job description. Work structures, job description. Fine. So click on new. We are creating the new job. Click on new. So within the job key flexible structure, how many segments we have? Two. Place cursor in the name field. Job name. Place cursor here. Now system will ask us to enter values for those two segments. Job code and job name. Do you find any LOV here? The reason? No. The reason is for in job key flex field we have two segments, right? For two segments, two value sets also will be there, right? When you define the value set, if you select the validation type as none, if you select validation type as none, you no need to maintain predefined values. When you are creating the job at the time dynamically, you can enter the create the values. If you take independent, whatever we taken for our chart of account related segments, in that case it's a mandatory you have to maintain all the values first. Then when you are recording the transaction at any point of time, you have to select. But here if you notice, go to segments. So this is a value set name. 6 characters, that's how they give it. If you open this, see, validation type is none. Validation type is none. That is the reason there is no LOV for that. If you select validation type as independent, you should create the values and you have to maintain. When we are creating the job, the values can be selected to create the new job. That's it. Clear, right? So they taken as a none. That is the reason system is not asking to select. It will allow you to enter any name. Okay, when you are creating any job. That's all. Now we'll switch to HRMS. What is the navigation? Work structure, job description. Work structures, job description. Click on new and place cursor here. Now you can enter the job code. Job code I'll give as a, since we are taking the name as a call free, it's just everything prefixed with a C. Okay, so buyer. I'll just give the value so that easily we can identify any definition within the system. I'll just keep some space. No. If I no issues buyer, I'm giving here. Here I'll give manager. Job name is also the code. Okay, fine. Let's give code some number. Okay, C1111. Job name is buyer. That's all. First segment is job code. So number you can give and job name, buyer job. Then say okay. Then job will be created. That's all. Save it. Job is created. Okay. Job is created. Now close it. Now we have to create the position. Don't take any point. Don't take any point. Once again, we'll be doing this the same. So to create the position, this is the navigation. You don't no need to take any point. Okay. Navigation is work structures, position, description. So before that, you can go and see the position structure also, how they created. Go to inventory or any other application, you can find it. So here we have position flex field. Within that, which one we selected there? Position flex field, right? This is the one, right? So if you open this, you can see how many segments are there. How many we have? Four. But how many are enabled? Two. Two only enabled. These two are disabled. That means only two. What are the segment names? Position number and position name. That means when we are creating the position, for that we have to provide two segment values. One is number and another one is name. For these also, for these two value sets also, they taken validation type as none. That means we cannot select any predefined values. We have to provide dynamic values. Clear, right? Close it. Now go to HRMS. Don't take these points. Work structure, position, description. Click on new. Place the cursor in date effective name field to give the position. So position number, some number I am giving. Position name I'll say manager. Okay. Don't take this. Say okay. Now position type, depending on organization, like whether the position is pooled or shared or only it has to own by one person and all, you have to select any one of them. You can select, but now just we are testing, you can select none. Okay, you don't have a big impact now here to understand. Now this position is belongs to which business group we have to select. What are the positions we are creating? Those should we have to select. The positions belongs to which business group. But when HRMS people are working, so they'll go with the detailed definitions. They'll be having HR organizations and they'll be selecting this position will belongs to which HR organization. That's a different thing. But now let's try to understand this position is belongs to which business group we have to select. We have our business group, right? We have to select our business group here, so that this position will be maintained within that business group. But now you cannot find our business group here. Cannot find our business group. The reason is, if you want to maintain the position, if you want to maintain the positions within the business group, okay, what we need some additional classification for the business group. We have a business group. For a business group, which classification we given? For business group, whatever we created, for that which classification we given? See, some people they are not at all trying. I am in the class enough. That's it. That won't work. That won't work. For business group, which classification we given? Business group only, right? For business group, we given the classification as a business group. So in the same way, if you want to maintain the positions within the business group, along with the business group classification, you have to give another classification called as HR organization. When you are creating the business group, we given only one classification, right? Business group. and we enabled, and we through others we given the business group info. Along with that, what we have to do? We have to give another classification called as HR organization. If you select HR organization classification to business group, then only you can maintain the positions within the organization. Again, business group. If you say organization, I'll be asking which organization. Tell me which organization. We are talking directly the point, right? Okay, we have BZ, but we cannot maintain the positions until unless we'll classify that business group as a, tell me please, business group. Why this confusion and all? Business group, HR organization. Okay, so when we have business group, until unless we assign classification called as business group, not HR organization, to the business group, we cannot maintain the positions. Okay, let's go and do it, then we'll complete this position definition. Okay, now you can take the point as classify business group as HR organization. So, classify business group as HR organization. If you classify, then only you can maintain positions within that. Okay, because see, when we are working finance point of view, are working and we are doing this setup, but when HR people are doing, they'll be creating they'll create the business group. Along with that, they'll create a number of HR organizations. For those HR organizations, they'll be giving this kind of classifications, but that detailed understanding not required for us. This information would be more than enough. So now what we have to do, we have to give the additional classification, right? Go and find the business group, work structures, organizations, description. Here, what is the BZ name? Call free India business group. Say okay. Then click on file. Okay. Just click on find. Okay. Click on find that. So here already we have business group classification. Now we have to select here HR organization and enable and save it. That's all. For this, you don't need to set any other information. Okay, HR organization and save it. Click on close. Done. Now we can create the position where the position can be taken into this BZ. Now say create position. Task name is create position. Okay. Navigation is work structures, position, description. Take all the points. Work structures, position, description. Okay. Work structures, position, description. Work structures, position, description. Now click on new. Click on new tab. Place cursor in date effective name field, because actually this name should be position name. The given date effective name field name is label name. Reason, there is a separate concept called as date effective future in HRMS. Okay, that is the reason, that's how they given the naming convention. Just place the cursor in this field. Position number C2222. Okay. Position name I am giving as a, I'll give purchasing manager. Okay, position number and position name. Then say okay. Select position type. Okay. Now we no need to understand all these pool, shader, single. Simply select none. Okay. HR people, when they are defining, they'll be focusing on that, how the position is in their organization. So accordingly, they'll be setting whether that position can be held by only one person or multiple people. Accordingly, they'll set it up. Whereas not required, just select type as none. Now this position you want to have in which business group or which HR organization, that you have to select. Here we created our, for our business group only we given HR organization classification, right? So that you have to select. Now it will come. The person who has a position called as purchasing manager, what job they will be doing. Job also we created, right? The job you have to assign to position, already we discussed. So you select job here, that means the job you are assigning to this position. What is the job code? No, enough, it will take, it will fetch. Tab out, it will fetch. And this position, purchasing manager position, is still exists in the company or it's not existed, or what exactly, because we are creating means definitely that is active. Okay, that position required and it is there in the organization. Okay, so select hiring status as active. Select hiring status as active. So at the time of BZ creation we given the location, right? The same location is defaulting here. Same location is defaulting here. That's all. Then you can save it. Position is ready. Okay. So later we'll create one more job and position, because in purchasing we have to test the approvals. To test approvals we need one more job that we'll discuss detail level. For now this is what we have to understand. Okay, how to create job and position. Completed. Now what is the next task as per HRMS setups? Create employee. Take the task name as create employee. Okay, task name is create employee. Task name is create employee. Navigation is people, enter and maintain. To create the employee, navigation is people, enter and maintain. People, enter and maintain. Click on new. Click on new. Here you have to provide the employee details. Employee last name. Any name from your batch? Any name from your batch? No name, huh? See, why you are not taking initiative for anything? Question answers, you don't take initiative. Sorry? Kodeshwar. Koti. Okay. Accepted, huh? Okay. He has to accept, otherwise I cannot take that name, short name. Koti. Fine. So here I can give the title, Mr. and birth date, just basic information. Any date, just I am giving some date. Okay, nothing wrong, just I am entering. Okay. So we're given this a basic information. Only one field is mandatory, last name. Okay, given that. So this is the last name or first name, doesn't matter. Just we fill with some name, and we given the title, and we given the date of birth. Based on that, system is taking the age. It is calculating and taking. Now what we are trying to do? We are trying to create the employee, right? So the action is employment, right? So here you have to select action as a create employment. Select. Take all the points. Whatever we are doing, just please make a note. You have to do in the system. You have to practice the same. Okay. Select action as a create employment. That's all. Create employment. Then automatically system will select person type for action is employee. That it's all about to predefine in the system. We don't need to do anything. Just we have to select action as a create employment. Now you can save it. Save it, then system will create the, based on this information, system will create employee, and it will generate the employee number. Okay, we'll see that. Just save it, Control S. Okay, save it. It will generate the employee number in this field. Anyway, it takes a couple of seconds. So once employee is ready, what we have to do? We have to assign job and positions. Position. Already job is assigned to position. At the time of position definition time, we selected job for the position. That means the job is assigned to position. Now when we talk about job position assignment to employee, reality what we have to assign to employee? Position. If you assign the position, automatically system will assign jobs. Reason that is already assigned. Okay. Now see, you can see here, system created as a employee, and employee number is 1. Employee number is 1. Okay, done. Employee is created. Anytime if you want to find the employee and all, so you can just take the same navigation, and you can enter the employee number if you know. Here, see, I'll give the employee number as 1. It will fetch the record, employee record, then say fine. That's it. This is the employee record. Now take the task as assign job and position to employee. Assign job and position to employee. To assign job and position to employee, click on this assignment tab. Take each and every point, whatever we are discussing and whatever we are doing in the system. To assign the job and position to employee, click on Assignment tab. Okay, fine. So here we have field called as job and position. Select position and system will default job automatically. What is the position? See double two tab out. See selected, right? So update and correction, these two are futures, separate functionality is got in HR application. Now since you say, I mean your first time you are taking, you say correction. Don't think correction means it's like you are just correcting. Just click on correction. Okay. You can click on function our point of view, you can go ahead with any function, both will work fine. Like our target is we have to save it. That's all. We have to allow that. Just click on this. Update are correct. You no need to read this message. Also say yes. Don't read it. Reality. Don't read. Not required. Finally, you can see the job position under jobs are assigned to employee coding. Okay. Then save it. Okay. What is the next task? Assign employee to user. So what are the users we create? For each user we have to assign the employee generally when you are working, but that we'll discuss later. But now we have only one user and we have one employee. This employee will assign to that user. Okay, where you can find the user? Sysadmin. Okay, switch to sysadmin. Task name you can take assign employee to user. Assign employee to user. Okay, assign employee to user. Switch to sysadmin to perform this task. Navigation is security user define. You have to find the user. You can query or else you can go with this find option, right? Let's go with this option. Click on find. Type for the user. What is the username? Call free. Search. Click on find. Then say okay. To this user we have to assign the employee. Employee is nothing but person. The person here classification is employee we are taking. So here you have to select the employee name. So better you can go with the percentage and type Koti instead of typing Mr. dot space Koti. Directly you can type here as a Koti. Just before and after you can give percentage, easily it will fetch. Okay. So this is our employee, right? Okay. Select it. We assign, then save it. Okay, these are the basic setups we have to complete for HR application. Okay, these are the basic setups we have to complete. But when HRMS people are implementing HRMS application, along with these setups, they'll do many other setups. But we don't need to focus on that, not required. When you are learning financials, okay, when you are learning financials, minimum these basic learning we should have. Okay, done. We completed all these setups, right? Now we'll see the inventory setups. Okay, inventory basic setups. Sorry. So we have to create the workday calendar. We have to create the workday calendar. Basically, this workday calendar is not for financials. This workday calendar for inventory and other manufacturing applications. Okay, so basically for manufacturing related applications, this workday calendar will be useful. But when we are doing the setups for inventory, we should set up this workday calendar. Reason, the man inventory will be closely interacting with the manufacturing application. There is integration. That is the reason we have to create it. Anyway, let's try to understand what is the purpose. Through workday calendar, what you can do is you can specify how many shifts you have in our organization and shift timings, and what are the working days and non-working days in your company. How many days are off, how many days are on in a week. Okay, these are all, and exceptional on. See, every Sunday, Saturday, Sunday off. But sometimes you may run the business. So that is exceptional case. The same way, Monday to Friday working, but you may run the business. You may just have off on Monday or Tuesday or Friday. That is exceptional. So all these specifications we can set up by creating the workday calendar. Okay. So we have to create the workday calendar to set up the shift timings and on and off days in our organization. Okay, basically, like, as per our setups, whatever we do, we don't require this to complete the setups. Based on workday calendar, we are not going to do anything, but to complete the basic setups in inventory, when we are doing the basic setups, system will be asking us which is your workday calendar. If you don't create, you cannot select. The field is mandatory, so with that reason you cannot complete the setup. If you don't complete that setup, you cannot complete the basic configuration for inventory, so inventory won't start working. That is the reason we are creating. Okay, let's see how to create the workday calendar. Workday calendar you can create from inventory application, means inventory responsibility. Switch to inventory. Task name is create workday calendar. Task name is create workday calendar. Okay, task name is create workday calendar. From which responsibility? Means stop calling responsibility, always call as application. To access application, we are using responsibility. So from which application you can create? Inventory. Go to the inventory related responsibility. Say okay. Now take the navigation. Setup, organizations, okay, from inventory, navigation is setup, organizations, calendars. Okay, setup, organizations, calendars. Give workday calendar name. So you can see the form title as a workday calendar, right? Name is call free workday calendar. Short name I am writing. Okay. Here type you can select as calendar month. In order to more focus on quarterly type and all, just select type as calendar months. You can select from date. Okay, to date, always select the future date. The from date, whatever you are selecting, that should include the current period, definitely. Okay, always, just you may take 1 year past or whatever, doesn't matter, but make sure that current period also within that. Okay, no issues here. By default, it's displaying as a 1st Jan 2016. Okay, up to say just 31st. Anytime you can change it. 2000 20. Okay. Now if you proceed in this way, take simple example. You are running the business from Monday to Friday. In a week, you are running the business from Monday to Friday. Saturday and Sundays are off. Take your week starts from Monday, ends with Sunday. No, not total week. My total week will start from Monday. The pattern, how it works, what is the starting date, starting day. Monday starts ends with the Sunday, and working days are Monday to Friday. Non-working are Saturday and Sunday. In that case, if I select first John is falling into day called as Friday. Still in this week, if you take Monday is starting, Saturday, Sunday is ending, in that case, still in that current week, how many days are on working? Still, think and tell me. Starts Monday, ends Sunday. Today, 1st John 2016, that is the date we taken. Based on that, the date is Friday. Day is Friday. Still, how many days are left in that week as a working days? Think and tell me. It's not a big challenging question. Only one day, right? Friday only we have. Okay, Friday only one. Means on days on is one. Current still how many days are left in the week? And off 2 days. How many are just we specified? In a week total 7. Already how many specified? 3 specified. Still what are left? 4 are left. Okay. In the next week, definitely those will be on Monday to Thursday. Again, why Friday? Friday already. If you say Friday is working days, every week you have to say no, right? One time you say Friday is holiday or working day, always Friday is holiday, working day. If you say Sunday is non-working day, no need to say every week. This Sunday also non-working, this Sunday also non-working. Not required, right? Those are fixed. Okay. The same way already you specified the current week, you specified Friday is working and Saturday, Sundays are non-working. Next week again you don't need to say Friday is working, Saturday, Sunday are non-working. Already you specified. What you have to specify? Remaining days. Monday to Thursday. Those how many are on? 4. How many are off in the next week? 0. That is the right answer. 0. You are still thinking, okay, no issues, ignore it. This understanding, not required. Because this is what I can explain. Anyone can explain. Still, if you don't get this point, ignore it. Okay. Clear, right? That's all. So this is how we have to specify. Now you tell me. This week, how many are working? 0. How many are non-working? 1 or 2? 1 or 2? Who are? Just tell me. 1 or 2? Not 2? Not 2. 1 only. Okay, Sunday only here. Directly you can see here, right? And the next week, how many days we covered? 1. Still, how many are left? 6. That definitely we'll see in the next week, right? How many are on? 5. Off or? 1. Which is that one? Saturday. That's all. This is the logic you have to understand here, nothing else. Okay. Anything, any date you can take here. Just I'm taking from starting. That's all. Okay. Now, whatever we discussed, that you have to set as workday pattern. That is a pattern. Days on and days off. Okay. So now you should remember the day is what? Friday. Now click on workday pattern. Okay, click on workday pattern. Sequence 1. So still in this week, how many days on? Please. How many days on? 1 day. That is Friday. How many off? 2. Go to next row. Sequence 2. Next week, how many days on? 4 only. Already 1 we specified in the current week on. How many off? 0. If you give like this, then only system automatically it will take Saturday, Sunday are off and Monday to Friday are on. It will take automatically if you follow this kind of exact workday pattern logic. If you give randomly 5 working, 2 non-working, it will take random. Okay, so this is very important. Then save it. Okay, just save it. Okay, just close it. Now we have to define the shifts. Click on shifts. Click on shifts. Shift number 1. I'll say normal shift. You may create shift 1, shift 2, shift 3. Okay, but here I'm taking as a normal shift or say day shift. Okay, what are this shift timings you have to specify. Okay, click on shifts. This form will open. Give the shift number, description, then click on times. Click on times. Click on times. It follows 24 hours time format. I'll say 9 o'clock minutes. Even you have to enter the seconds. Okay, say evening up to 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock means 18. Then save it. Save it. Okay, don't worry about this message. Say okay. Okay, save it. Then close it. Then now you can see the dates. Okay, no issues. You close it. I'll tell you. Okay, we created shift and we given the times. Now to see the dates, click on dates. So that system automatically will specify the Saturday, Sunday are non-working and rest of days are working based on the workday pattern whatever we define. By default it will take. That's the reason we discussed that point logic.
Suppose if we want every Friday to be off. If we want every Friday to off.
Accordingly you set here every Friday means in this case what we have to do based on this? First 0 and remaining 3 off and here only 3 because total 7, 3 are off. That's it. Okay, only you have to do this logic based on which day is starting. Okay, the date is starting which day, based on that you can set. Done. Now click on dates. See here, Saturday, Sundays are in gray color. That means off. Which are in the black color, all are on, working. That's all. See, days on, days off. For example, in this so and so month, I want to make Friday as off. Just click on that. That comes under exception of. Exception of. Here we have. This Saturday is off, right? I want to make working day. Click on this. That will become exception on working day. That's how you can specify. Okay, by default, what are the working, non-working? Those you can set it up. Clear, right? But we don't need to focus on this much. The very detailed are not required. Just for your understanding, I'm explaining this point. Anyway, we need workday calendar. We have to create. Okay, done. Clear, right? Okay. Still, if somebody did not understand this, ignore it. Try to understand how to create it. Okay, that over. Enough. Yeah, please. No, we no need to create real time. This will be created by inventory SCM consultants. But when we are doing the multi-org, if no other consultant is there to test our financials and to do the implementation, you have to create this. Anytime you will be able to change these patterns, etc., etc. It can be updatable. That is the reason we no need to worry about it. If client is going to implement SCM also, before we start with our financial setups, SCM people will complete their setups, then only we'll start with our setup, then there won't be any issue. When client is not implementing SCM and all, we are going to implement only finance. To test the financial flows as a P2P and all, we have to complete these basic setups. Since to complete the basic setups we are doing, you can do just with any selection and all, that won't cause any issues. Okay, that's what we have to understand. After creating the chart of accounts, what we have to do? Yeah, correct. All answers are correct. After creating the chart of accounts, we'll be compiling, right? We'll compile it in the same way. So after creating the workday calendar also, we have to build it. We have to build. Okay, this why it is missing. I'll show you that. Yeah, this is what hidden. Okay. So this is a call free workday calendar. After creating it, what we have to do is we have to build it. Build is equal to compile only. This calendar will get validated by concurrent manager. Okay. So we created, right? Say build workday calendar. Is equal to compile or say validate. Build workday calendar. Okay, say build workday calendar. How to build? Select the calendar name, place the cursor in this name field, or else if you are on the same form, that is enough. Okay, so go to tools. Here we have a function called as build. Click on build. Okay, click on build. A request is getting submitted to concurrent manager to validate the workday calendar. Okay, then say okay. If you don't build it, wherever this workday calendar is required, there you don't find it. Okay, you cannot go and verify whether it's a built or not. You cannot see here from front end. Okay, from back end you can see, but we don't need access to that. So if you don't build it, what happens? You cannot find wherever it is required. Clear, right? Done. You may go to SRS window, you may see the status also. So build workday calendar, just content manager is processing. Completed. Normal. Clear, right? Now what is the next task? Yeah, before that we have one more step. We'll discuss that. Okay, we'll create actual inventory. For actual inventory we have to set up inventory information and receiving information. Sorry, taken into code and all. So for actual inventory only we have to set up inventory information and receiving information. So already we created a master inventory, right? For a master inventory also minimum we have to set this inventory information. Receiving inventory information we don't need to set. Reason, we are not going to receive the material into master inventory. We will be receiving the material into which inventory? Actual inventory. That is the reason receiving information we have to set for actual inventory, but as a basic configuration for item master inventory. Also, what we have to do, we have to set up inventory information. Okay, before we go and set this inventory information to a master inventory, let's try to understand what is the purpose of this inventory information, receiving options. Apart from that, what are the other options we have, where that can be used, how that will be helping in the system for process or any controls. Okay, let's talk about it. Just make a note, just take the point as options. So it's not like just you'll be taking, you should remember all these points. Whatever you are discussing, please read and remember, have a discussion, give presentation. How many people are giving the presentations every day? Who given the presentations on the setups what we discussed or multi-org? I'm telling it's not only theoretical points. The multi-org setups we have, right? You can take initiative or you can just come and explain. Saying that, okay, let's talk about inventory multi-org setups. Okay, to implement the multi-org, to create the multi-org environment in the system, okay, what are the applications we have to implement based on the scope? We have to create the responsibilities first. Discuss, right? Same way, like whatever we are discussing, that you have to give as a presentation. Whatever we are doing in the system, that also give the presentation, then you will be good enough. Okay, if you are lacking somewhere, like if you are not giving, you are practicing like anything, means it won't work. Practice point of will be okay, but you'll be lacking in terms of presentation. When you're learning any functional course, presentation will is very important. Okay, you may not be good at system, but you should be good at presentation. What you know, that you should be able to explain very proper way and with more confidence, with a good flow of explanation. There should be good flow when you're explaining. That will build good confidence to others who are trying to hire you. That's it. But if you think I know but I'm not able to explain, nobody is looking for you. They are not looking for the people who know something. They are looking for who can present the same. Okay, so please read. You have to read each, take each and every point, read all the points, and after once you are okay with that content, whatever you are reading, whatever you are going through, then sit and have a discussion with others. That is the first step. Directly don't go with the presentation. Through discussion, when just you explain to one guy, other guy will be explaining to you, then you can see your confidence levels. Okay, then there itself you can give some feedbacks, right? You are explaining fine, but I am not able to explain like you. Some this kind of feedbacks will be there, right? So you just give that kind of feedback. Then once you find you are comfortable or able to remember everything, then you can start with the presentation. If you are not okay with the discussions, what you have to do? Again, read it. It's still required, read it, but don't ignore it. Ignoring is very easy. Please don't ignore, read and give presentations, discussions, then presentation, and then you can practice more and more. Okay, that's how if you it should work. Okay, fine. Now we'll talk about few points. Take this point as options. Inventory information, receiving information or receiving options also you can call, purchasing options, financials options, payables options. Okay, fine. These all comes under options. What are the different options we have? Inventory information. You can call as inventory options also, nothing wrong, but the display name they given as a inventory information. And receiving options, purchasing options, financial options, and payables options. What is the purpose of options? If we take one state, in state there will be government, right? What is the use of government? It will govern, right? It will control. It will pass set of rules, how things works. Okay, everything there will be some set of rules and there is a procedure how government should work and all those things. In the same way, for a particular state, there is some legal body which will be passing some rules and setting up some controls how things everything will work for the people and all. The same in every application, similar to that, in every state there is government. In the same way, for every application there is some options. What options will do within that application, how application should work, how application should not work, which feature should work, which feature should not work. These and all controls can be defined by options. Simple point you can take, with options you can control the application functionality. The options will control the application functionality. Okay, application options will control the application functionality. So okay, options will control application functionality. So which options will control which application functionality, we have to understand. Which options will control which application functionality, we have to understand. When you talk about inventory, just make a note. Inventory information or inventory options will control inventory application functionality. And receiving options will control inventory and purchasing functionality. Purchasing options will control purchasing application functionality. And financial options, central government will control all the states, right? In the same way, the financial options will control not all the applications, so more than one application like AP, say PO, AP and FA. The financial options will control PO, AP and FA application functionalities, and payables options will control AP functionality. That's it. Okay, remember all these. What are the options means you should be able to list out this. These options are specific to P2P cycle. When you talk about O2C, again we'll be discussing that. Okay, these are more related to P2P cycle. So inventory, PO, AP, right? So what is the purpose of options? With the options, we can control the application functionality. Or you can say simply, with the options, we can set the behavior of the application. The controlling in the sense, we will be setting some behavior. You can take in other words, with options, we can set the behavior of the application, how system has to behave. Nothing but control. Based on controls only, it will be start behaving, right? Both are same, just you can take as other statement. Okay, with the options, we can set the behavior of the application. With which option we can set the behavior of application out of this list? You should be able to answer now. My question is, we just now discussed, with options we can set the behavior of application. By using which option we can set the behavior of application? Any options. Options only we are discussing, right? Any options. All options purpose is same. Okay, if you want to set the behavior for inventory, you can set inventory options. To set the behavior for PO or to set the control on the PO process, purchasing options, and financial options to control or to set the behavior for these three common applications. Means these are the financial options are common options for these three applications, and payable options are specific to payables. Purchasing options are specific to PO. Receiving information or receiving options are common for inventory and PO. Inventory options for only inventory applications. That's it. And other words, other word you can take as, with these options we can set the defaults. These all points will come to know when you are working, but for now you just make a note. With the options we can set the defaults. Through these options what we can do, we can set the defaults means what happens is, say like I have a purchasing options. In purchasing options I'll go and set something. When I'm working on purchasing application, the same whatever is set there, the same information will be appearing here. Again I don't need to set here. That means that is getting copied, which is automatically coming, that we call as defaulting. Simple point I'll tell you, we worked in the GL, we created journal, right? So primary ledger level, whatever calendar, currency, chart of accounts, we have, and all are coming in the, when you are creating journal, right? All simple point. We assign the primary ledger to responsibility. When you open the journal form, automatically the ledger is appearing, right? That we call as ledger is defaulting. We assign at what level? Responsibility. But within the responsibility, when you are creating journal, the same ledger is appearing. That is nothing but defaulting. The similar way, we have many other points that we'll see detailed. Okay, clear, right? What is the purpose of options? What really, how exactly those will be controlling and all, we'll see once we get into the application only. Before that, just this is the point we have to understand. What the purpose of options means: to set some controls, or to set the behavior, or to set the defaults for any applications. We can use the options. Which options for which application? That is, this is the point we have to remember. Okay, fine. Payable options we cannot use for purchasing. Okay, for each application we have different options. For a few applications we have some common options also, right? That's all. This is the point we have to understand. Now we are going to set inventory information, or say yes, inventory options also, you can say, nothing wrong. But display they given as inventory information, you can understand as inventory options. Okay, so this we completed, right? Sorry. So before we go and create the actual inventory, see, we'll create actual inventory. For actual inventory we have to set these two options. To control this actual inventory we have to set these two options. Before that we created a master inventory, right? Item master. For that, these two options we no need to set. Minimum we have to set inventory information. Reason, receiving options are not required. Receiving options will set a controls for which application? Inventory and purchasing. For receiving process, when you are receiving the material into organization, how that process can be controlled, that we can set. We never receive the material into item master inventory. Item master purpose is just to create the items. So that is the reason we no need to set receiving options for item master inventory, but minimum we have to set inventory options or inventory information for item master. Now you can take point here. So set inventory information for item okay, set inventory information for item master inventory. Okay, set inventory information for item master inventory. Let's go and do it. Where we created item master? From HRMS, right? Switch to HRMS. I think it's not responding. Let me reconnect. Okay, switch to HRMS. Go to the same form where we created item master. What is the navigation? Work structure, organizations, description. You should remember all the navigations. Work structure, organization, description. Now what is our item master organization name? Call free item master inventory. And click on find. Here what we have to set? Inventory information. To set inventory information for master inventory, click on others. Please take the points. First find it. How to find? Just the same process, right? How to find? Take this navigation, search for it. Call free item. Then click on find. Okay, click on find. Now click on others. Through others only we can go and set the inventory information. Click on others. Which information? Inventory information. Already we completed accounting information, right? Through accounting information, what we did? This item master belongs to which multi-org we have to specify. For that we given the specification as which primary ledger and which legal entity. We didn't give any operand reason. This is not real one. For real inventory only will be mapping with the operating entity. Okay. So go select inventory information, then say okay. Okay, select inventory information, then say okay. Select inventory information and say okay. Okay, it's giving some message you cannot do this task from here. Okay, sometimes you may get this kind of message, and after some time you may find the situation as it is working fine from here. In that case, we don't need to worry about it. We discussed one point. These organizations we can create from HRMS or inventory also. From inventory also you can create it. Let's do it from inventory. Okay, anyway, you know the navigation from HRMS, right? Now we'll see the navigation from inventory. From there only we'll go and do it. Okay. So go to inventory. Take the navigation. Setup. Organizations. Organizations. Same form will be open. Okay. Same form. But that is available. The form access is available from HRMS as well as inventory. That's all. Setup. Organizations. Organizations. Okay. Setup. Organizations. Organizations. Now we have to find our item master, right? Name is call free item, then click on find. Yes, this is the item master inventory we created. For this we have to set the inventory information. For that, click on others, select inventory information, then say okay. The form will be open. So what name you can see here? Inventory information. So once the form is open, you can see the name in the different. Just say okay. See the form title, organization parameter. That means inventory information or inventory options or in organization parameters all are same. That's it. That's what you have to understand. Okay. Sorry. So organization code. This we have to give in the 3 digits. Okay, short name, short code. Okay, these codes and all will be just finalized by client only. Will be telling them like this is how we have to give the code, but majorly this task will be done by SCM consultant. But how generally code will be giving means the client may give the code as like this. Of course, is item master, but item master case you can give some unique name. But normally real cases we'll see at the time of real definition. Here I'll say, since call free, I'll say see item master. CIM, call free item master, or else we may give the name as item master inventory, right? You can give just code for entire item master organization code. Anything you can give. Let's go with this. Call free item master. And what is your item master inventory organization name? That you have to select here. Here you can see the same, right? The same you have to select within the organization parameters or inventory information. We have to select once again. So that is call free. So we have to select calendar, nothing but workday calendar. See, field is mandatory. If you don't select workday calendar field here, if you don't create workday calendar, if you don't select here, okay, you cannot complete the this organization parameters definition. Okay, it's a mandatory. That is the reason we created workday calendar. Here, find your workday calendar. If you don't find here, the meaning is it's not compiled. That's all. Call free workday calendar WDC. Okay. Because there will be many fields and a lot of defaults and all, but we don't need to focus on this. Our job is working on financials, but here just completing the basic, providing the basic information. We have to complete this setup. That should be our target. We don't need to start understanding whatever we see here. Okay, our target should be we have to complete the setup with the very basic information, which is a mandatory. That's enough for us. When you're working on finances, we'll try to understand more and more, but SCM point of view, you don't need to focus on more. Fine. Just I given the organization code and item master organization name and calendar. Then here we have multiple tabs, right? Go to next tab. Costing information. Take all the points. Tab names also you have to at least you have to remember the tab names under which tab which information we are setting. Costing method. Every organization will follow some costing method for their item maintenance and the pricing and all other for cost maintenance. So here we have a different costing methods. We have a standard costing and average costing. Okay. So what do you mean by standard costing? We'll fix some cost, that is a standard cost. Average cost means the cost may be fluctuated. If you buy some item with say 100, other item with 110, 130, 140, 150, what will do? You'll take the total cost by number of items. That's how you will go with the average cost. That depends. The company like other one is LIFO, FIFO. Those are the costing methods and all. And now we don't need to just focus on that. Not required. Just select costing method standard. Our target is we have to complete this setup so that our process can be supported by these setups. That's all. The people who are learning, they should understand definitely what is the detailed costing methods, etc. SCM who are learning, they have to understand. For us, not required. Okay, done. Here we have to provide material account. See here, the rest of all are just filled. Okay, here you have to select the material account. Material account is nothing but inventory account. Okay, what are the stock you are maintaining? For that, there will be some price and all the costs need to be maintained, right? So for that, we have to select material account. Which value set we are using for account? Which value set we are using for account? Operations. Within that, we have all accounts. For material account also we have. Okay, just click on LOV. All are defaulting. Now our job is very easy, right? Okay, but don't think when you are working the same way we'll be setting all as default. Maybe just one or two or max three segments will be setting as default, that depending on client interest. Okay, so select account. Which account? Not double three, material account. When we discuss that, please. Okay, material account. Inventory material value. Okay, select this 1410. Okay, inventory material value is nothing but material account, stock value account. We given material account. Now, if I ask the question, what is the retained earnings account number? 3310. This answer please give in the institute only, not in outside. Outside, what is after joining something? What is the number for letter? If you raise your hand, they will rise. Okay, so it can be anything. That should be your answer. There is no fixed number. What Oracle is predefined and all. That is a number in vision instance. You don't know about a vision instance, right? How do you know about return earnings? No, you don't know that. That's all. Okay, that is very important. Okay, what is the return earnings account number? It can be anything. Depending on what are the maximum size will be taken for accounts, accordingly that can be decided. Okay, where we can set return earnings, that is fixed as per product. That always can be set in the ledger options, the ledger level, accounting options that we can set. But what is account? Return earnings account? No, it can be anything. That's it. Just remember that. Okay, don't answer. Next tab. Just take the tab name first. Some revision, lot, serial, and LPL. Because experienced people will know all those things. Which tab? So that is the reason you should know. Okay. Starting division, anyway system is taking some default value 0. You want to change it. Here there is no value. See a starting serial number, you can give 1. These starting division, starting serial number, all are different features in inventory. So but we no need to work on it. Ignore it. Just provide starting serial number as a 1 since a mandatory field. Okay. Next tab is ATP pick item sourcing. Take tab name. Whether we are going to fill something or not, that is secondary. Okay, take tab name. Next tab is ATP pick item sourcing. Select this tab. Nothing we have to set. All are optional. And we have few more tabs. If you click on this drop down, you can see that. Two more, right? Inter-org information under other accounts. I'm selecting other accounts. So after this ATP pick item sourcing, what is the next tab? Other accounts not. Inter-org information. Just make a note. Take at least tab name that you should remember. Inter-org information. Take the tab. We are not going to do anything, but just take the tab name when you are going through your note and all. Go through it so that you can remember. The next tab is other accounts. We have to set up all these accounts which can be used in P2P, O2C cycles and other inventory related other operations. Okay. See, all are these receiving accounts. The receiving process, when you purchase, you receive the material, right? That process will be used. Profit and loss accounts means these are O2C cycle related accounts. So other accounts means it's all related to inventory related operations, etc. Okay. With the same, we are using the operations value set. In operations value set, almost we have all the accounts. If you search with this label name, you can find the account. With this name, you search with the purchase price variance account, you will be finding. Okay. Purchase price search. This is the account, right? Now you can make a note and you remember and when to to support your practice and all. That's it. Okay. Purchase price variance 5210. Next account is invoice price variance. These are separate concepts also which are connected. Invoice price variance will be connected with the finance. At the time we'll be discussing what exactly why we given this account here. By the time we'll be discussing. Okay, here we have to select invoice price variance. Search for invoice, we'll get that account. Invoice price variance. Then say okay. Give inventory AP accrual account. Inventory AP accrual account. So when you are testing in the lab, if this account is not available, you can go and create with the same name, inventory AP accrual account. Take account type as liability. Take account type as liability. Okay, and provide here sales account. Sales nothing but sales revenue account. Revenue from sales, that similar account. So already discussed, basically all the accounts will maintain with the some grouping, right? Expense separate group, liability separate group, revenue, ownership, all will go with the groups. The same way which value set we are using, operations, that also there will be grouping, right? So for sales means that is sales revenue account. Revenue account we have a sequence as a 4000 in the operations value set. Type 4 is all our revenue accounts. Hardware revenue from hardware, revenue from support, revenue from consulting, revenue from training. This is how just you can select any one of the revenue account. Any one of the revenue account you can take it, not an issue. I'll tell you which account based on the transaction it will be taking the revenue account, but here to complete the setup for the defaulting purpose, you have to select any one of the revenue account. Any revenue account you can select, no issues. I'll tell you the point which you have to consider when you are working on receivables, because this is the receivables related process accounts. Okay, clear, right? And here you can provide cost of goods sold account, COGS, COGS. You can call this account as COGS account. COGS account. Take this account, cost of sales. Select this account, and here we have one more mandatory account called as deferred COGS. This is a COGS, this is a deferred COGS. Okay, deferred COGS account. You find all the accounts in the operations value set. Account is 1415. Okay, deferred COGS account. Now you can save it. By providing this information, we can set up inventory information. When you save it, system will give some warning. Okay, saying that once you start with the item definition, item assignments, and costing related transactions, we cannot change any item master, as well as we cannot change costing method. This message system will be just giving. You see here, Control S, save it. See the message what our system will trigger. Read it. Okay, the meaning is once you create the items and once you associate those items, we discussed, right? We'll create the items will be assigning to inventory organizations, right? Once you do that kind of activities, you cannot change Costing method and item mass organization, whatever you are setting up in this inventory information, that is a message. That's okay. Say okay, then done, completed. Okay, now you can close it. We completed this task. Now we'll go and create the actual inventory. We'll create the actual inventory, or say physical inventory. That's nothing but real, whatever reality they have in the organization. That one. For everything they'll be giving the names. Okay, what with what name we have to create the inventories, all the real inventory names they'll be giving, accordingly we'll be creating. But here for testing, we'll be creating everything with the location base. Now we'll create the actual inventory like call free Hyderabad inventory. So from where we can create inventory? From here also we can create, right? We can create from HRMS or from inventory application, right? Let's go with the same navigation. Navigation is setup organizations, setup organizations. Then click on new. We are creating the new inventory, right? Click on new. Okay, click on new. Give the name. Call free Hyderabad inventory. You should select location, right? This is a physical one. You have to select the location. Select location. Hyderabad. Up to this, we have to save it. Otherwise, you cannot select any organization classification. Don't accept. Okay. Just provide the name. Then select location for this inventory organization, and give the organization classification as what is this? Inventory organization. That's all. Enable and save it. Select organization classification, enable the checkbox and save it. Okay. Now click on others tab. Here we have to set up, right? This inventory is under which operating unit and which primary ledger and legal entity, right? This and all we have to set up. Just click on others. First we have to set accounting information. Click on others, select accounting information. Okay. Accounting information, say okay. Then place cursor in accounting information field. Okay, select primary ledger, call free. System will default the legal entity which is mapped with the primary ledger. Now it's even field is optional. As a mandatory, you have to select operating unit. This is a real one. Real inventory will support for specific operating, that will be under OU only. So select call free Hyderabad operating unit. this inventory organization is going to be under this operating net as per multi-org structure. Okay, fine. Just click on OK. Again, click on OK and save it. Simple 3 parameters. Primary ledger. If you select primary ledger, system will default legal entity. Just you have to select OU. And say OK. Then click on OK and say yes. Done. Now for this actual inventory also we have to set inventory information under receiving information, right? Fine. Let's go and do it. So set inventory information for actual inventory. Set inventory information for actual inventory. Set inventory information. Okay. Click on others. Select inventory information. Take the point. Go to others. Select inventory information. Okay. Then say OK. We know this, right? Already just now we created for item master. The same we are going to repeat for actual. Say OK. Now here we have to give the organization code and calendar, right? Costing this information on the account and another accounts. We have to fill all these accounts. Instead of doing all these exercise once again, what we can do is simply we can copy the information from master inventory level, whatever the inventory information is defined, right? That we can copy to this organization. So what we'll do is go to tools, copy. We copy all the information from item master to this actual. Go to tools, say copy organization. All accounts and other information also will get copied, and only 2-3 fields are left. Just code we have to set as unique. And item master we have to select as unique. Rest of all will be defaulted from item master. When you're working real time, we'll be creating n number of organizations. For all again and again, we no need to set. This is how we can copy. Tools, copy organization. See, all the accounts will be copied. See, calendar is copied. Costing method, natural accounts, material account, other accounts, all are copied. Just only we have to set organization code only. Code and item master. So code I will give call free Hyderabad inventory. CHI code. Everything prefix we are taking just call free. So here I'm code also I'm giving with the C. Okay, CHI call free Hyderabad inventory. So it depends. Like when you are working, like they'll be given the name. See, this is the inventory for. Okay, this is inventory for books. This inventory for books in the sense they can maintain as books inventory organization, or else they want to include the city also in this. First they'll give city Hyderabad books inventory. They want to include in the city which location also Amirpet. Okay, Hyderabad. Okay, I'll put like this. It's not like Hyderabad Amirpet books inventory. Also I may go with the first B books inventory. So belongs to which location. That's how it's a very meaningful way we'll be setting the organization code. But unfortunately, we don't set this. This will be done by SCM consultants. But when we are doing for this kind of setups, we can do that. But reality, when we are doing any implementation for the client, this can be taken care by SCM consultants. Okay. So books Hyderabad, I'm repeat inventory. That's all. Okay. For now, we'll set call free Hyderabad inventory. Oh, we didn't save it, right? Fine. Call free Hyderabad. I'll put like that. Since the code is already existed, it's used in some other organization. Now, what is our item master organization name? Call free item master, right? The same we have to select. So this is one is actual, right? But here, what is the field? You have to select item master. That means in this item master, what are the items you create? Those items can be assigned to this current inventory. Some relationship we are establishing. Take it, we'll understand later. When you are defining, you can understand. Okay. That's all. Rest of all the information, all the parameters are defaulted by system since we copied. Now save it, same message you'll get. So costing method and item master organization you cannot change once you have a cost enabled, like item related items which we assign to inventories. Save okay. But then you can close it. Okay. Now one more setup we have to complete, that is receiving information, right? Or say receiving option. Say that also. Say set, or you can say configure. Say configure receiving options. So you can say define or set, or say setup or configure. Use of different terms. Okay. Say configure receiving options for actual inventory. To configure receiving options for actual inventory, go to others tab. Go to others tab. Here we have receiving information. Receiving information is web-based function. It will open the web page. Within that we have to set up. Okay. Anyway, select receiving information, then say okay. It will open the receiving options page. See here, you can see the name as receiving information. Once the form is open, you can find it as a receiving options. Both are same. Here display name given as a receiving information. There they given display name as receiving options. Click on OK. Okay. We no need to understand too much about these options. Just we have to fill and we have to complete that level of knowledge we require. Just we are not going to work on this. See here, you can see the name as receiving options, but just we'll discuss few points which are mandatory at least. Receipt days early, receipt days late. That means if you give order to your supplier, so if supplier is going to deliver the material, how many days early you can accept, how many days late you can accept or reject, or where system has to give the warning. I'll say if your receipt days early, if I'm going to ask to supply on 10th of this month, but supplier is supplying 5 days early, means 5th only. In that case, 5 days early if you are getting, the warning should be that system has to reject. That means we may not have enough space to store that material. These all are the controls. Or else we may set 10 days early means system has to reject. So only 5 days means none. Okay, system has to accept. Or else system at least it has to give the warning message saying you are receiving early. The same way, there will be cases you may receive late also, right? You are asking on 10th, supplier is applying on after 5 days late. In that case, where the system has to give the warning when the user is recording the receipt saying that it's already 5 days late, you are recording, make a note. Or else, if it is 5 days late, that has to reject. Both you have to set with the one parameter only. Okay, I can set 5 days early or 5 days late, system has to reject. Means system should not allow us to create the receipt. That is the organization policy. Okay, that's how you can set it up. But now just to simplify this, not required for us all this functionality testing and all. So purely related to inventory process. So you can set to none. Since mandatory, we are filling some values. In the same way, over receipt tolerance. Say you are asking some 10 quantity, but supplier is supplied 15 quantity, means how much percentage supplied extra additional? 50%. 10 you ordered, 15 you received, means 50%. So that you can set it here. If it's 10% tolerance extra, okay, system can accept. If 10% extra means system has to reject, or else at least it has to give the warning. This kind of controls you can set in the system. Okay, it's all related to inventory process and purchasing. So we don't require, but let it be. Okay, done. Here receipt routing methods. Just make a note. This will be discussing before we get into payables. At this point we have to understand when we are working on P2P cycle. This is very important. Take the point as receipt routing methods. Take the term as, or else say receipt routing types or receipt routing methods. Just take the point as receipt routing method. Okay, receipt routing methods. We have three type of receipt routing methods. Okay, we have three type of receipt routing methods. We have three type of receipt routing methods. Before we go and work on the relevant function, we'll discuss very detailed level. Take those three values: standard receipt, inspection required, and direct delivery. 3. Standard receipt, direct delivery, and inspection required. Okay, just for now let's select standard receipt. You will understand what are those three and how those, based on that, how the functionality will work. So next receipt number 1, because we'll be receiving the receipts into, we'll be creating receipts into this real inventory, right? Call free Hyderabad inventory is physical one, real one. So we'll receive the material into this, right? To receive the material, we have to create the receipt. When you are creating receipt, what number you want to follow? By default, system is taking 1 would be the first number. But as per your preference, you can set it up. Remember, where we can set the receipt number? In receiving options. That point you should remember. Which options, in which options we are setting, you have to remember. Okay. Now here we have two accounts which are mandatory. Receiving inventory account and clearing account. Just provide those two accounts. Select description. Seems to that account is not there. No issues. I'll just fill with the 1410 because okay, we just will basically generally will be selecting based on the relevant name. Will be having accounts. All accounts will maintain and will be choosing. For now, I am selecting one some inventory account only, but actually that should be receiving inventory. Okay. So why I am selecting the different account? Anyway, in the purchasing receiving point of view, we are not going to analyze any balances by taking the account. Just let's try to understand the process. The same account I am copying to clearing account, which is mandatory. Enough. No need to worry about this setup. We have to complete. That should be our focus. Okay, it's finance related, means we'll be giving the proper account. since it's a SCM related setup, you can fill with some account, there won't be an issue at all. Clear? Okay. So how we are setting up receiving options? We are giving receipt days early, late, and the action. Okay, I mean the receipt days exceed action, and or receipt tolerance and relevant action, and receipt routing will be selected as a standard receipt. Within that we have three types, and receipt number also can be set it up here, can be defined here, and we are providing two accounts, receiving inventory and clearing accounts. That's all. With this information we can complete the receiving option setup. Save it. Done. The changes has been saved. Create actual inventory, set up inventory information and receiving options. Okay, in tomorrow session we'll see sub inventory creation, items, assigning the items to the actual physical or say real inventories, and we'll open the inventory period so that inventory will be ready to record the transactions. And once that is ready, we'll proceed with the purchasing setups. Once this is done, we'll directly get into our finance. There theoretically we'll discuss and we'll be working, and there are a few more points to understand from purchasing and other sites also that we'll be discussing when we are doing the transaction process in the system. Okay, if you have any doubts or queries in today's session or previous session, or when you are practicing on the system, if you have any issues or doubts, let me know, we'll discuss. Okay, right, if you don't have any issues, okay, we'll wind up the session for today. Okay, and see you tomorrow. Thank you.